Alright guys, we are back on some solo leveling Arise. The live stream just happened. We got two new codes, so my cup of tea. Let's put this bad boy in and receive our 1000 essence. Beautiful. And then the last one, which is 412 SLC Arise. I believe this will give us a mana power extract. Ah, look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. We'll take all of that. Thank you very much. Happy days. So those are the codes. Make sure to input those and get your rewards. Now it's time to take a look at the brand new Hunter. Just before I don't forget, if you guys do want to support your boy, again, you're more than welcome to. I do have all the codes readily approved. We will be getting the championship code coming in where I can provide you guys with an extra 1000 essence, which is very nice. So in total, technically speaking, that's a multi, because we already got 500. We just got 1000. I've got another 1000 coming in my way in terms of a creator code, so it's 2500. And then I will be picking the winners for the essence pack. So again, if you are a supporter of mine, please make sure to comment on the giveaway where I do the essence. That way you have a very good chance to get the essence pack. So again, that's an easy 11k more for your pools during the first year anniversary. And then the day after I will be, so this is the essence pack I'll be picking up for you guys, and then the day after we will then do the deluxe pass, and that will then cater into the newest update. So yeah. So here she is, the water breaker Seorin, of course. So basic attack, doing water element damage with weak break damage on the basic hits. There you go. Her support skill, again, she's scaling off from max HP, so bear that in mind. Again, doing water damage, she's providing medium break, has airborne triggered, and then on top of that she can activate a effect called Elegant Charisma. When the user successfully puts the enemy in break state, it increases the break effect duration for several seconds and activates a limited break effect. So limited break effect increases the damage dealt by several seconds. So realistically, just before the enemy goes into the break state or you break the bar, get Seorin in, of course, and then you can benefit from the Elegant Charisma to get the extension on the duration, as well as the additional damage from the limit break, or limited break, my apologies. So yeah, I mean, here's the thing, we knew the foundation of this character before going in, and they kept their word. She is a sub DPS breaker, and she is a hybrid of Goto Guruji as well as Azo. In terms of those two breakers, they kept with it. So yeah, we knew ahead of time. They commit to it. So that's exactly how I can really break down this character in a short story form. So yeah, hybrid. In terms of the core attack, again, doing water element damage, providing weak break. It also has airborne, and she also gains a super armor while using this skill. Pretty nice. And then her QTE skill inflicts damage scaling from HP as per usual, water element damage with weak break damage, and again inflicts airborne. So again, that Goto Ruji vibe is right there. Right, in terms of her skills, again with her skill 1, Frozen Spin, inflicts water damage with medium break, of course. When the skill hits, it inflicts airborne. You also get super armor. If the user is hit mid-rotation while using the skill, it activates extreme evasion. So a little bit of kind of here just kind of being thrown in there, of course, since we've seen that type of skill through kind of his skill, of course, so that's pretty nice. Skill 2, Polar Splurge, or Surge, my bad. Water element damage as per usual, medium break, again applies airborne, and she gains she's got super armor on practically everything. Core, skill 1, skill 2, she's making sure she hits her attack. Fair play, no flinching going on there. And then her ultimate, yes, water element damage, almighty break. Oh, I do love when I see that, so happy days on that one, because there's one skill where, yeah, this skill right here, bro. Ooh, bro, okay, I'll give it to the developers. They cooked, I can't deny that. To anyone who's denying it, you're wrong. So yeah, low-key, the animation alone, I think the bike comes from her like gun turning into a bike. I mean, that's what it looks like. Ultimate clean as ever. I wish the ultimate would have been her kind of like ramming the bike into the enemy. That would have been badass. So when it comes to her passive, when Seorin or an ally successfully puts an enemy in break state, it increases the duration by several seconds. So again, we've seen this from Goto Ruji, we've seen this with Azo, of course. So this is kind of like a new thing going along with breakers now that we've seen for this year. Continuing on, when she uses her Frozen Spin, skill 1, Polar Surge, skill 2, Ice Shard Magnum, which is... No, my bad. Ice Shard Magnum is the core. So skill 1, skill 2, core, and this is the support skill. So Frozen Drift. It activates Pinpoint Missile. When these abilities are used, Seorin launches several missiles, dealing water element damage and inflicting a Sub-Zero effect. Sub-Zero increases the target's water damage taken by a certain percent, which is stackable. So this is where Azel comes into play. Whenever you dodge, she has those missiles going towards the enemy, applying that break, of course. So this is basically what's happening here, but rather than it applying from the extreme evasion, it activates when you're pretty much on the offensive. So yeah, not bad at all. And again, it's increasing that water element damage. That's going to be huge. Okay, so continuing on with the first dupe, which is kind of crazy to be fair. Frozen Drift fires additional missiles. When the user enters the stage, the Overtake effect is activated. So Overtake increases break effectiveness by a certain percent, decreases damage dealt by a certain percent. When limited break is active, it removes the Overtake effect. In Workshop Brilliant Light, the duration of this effect is increased, so there's that incentive. There's that incentive. So just like how the new Workshop Brilliant Light was, you know, catering, well, Azel was really catering to that to make life a whole lot easier. This is exactly the same situation. So if you want to make your life a lot easier, there you go, cater to the water element. And plus the anniversary character will be a broken water DPS character. But anyway, when Seorin or ally successfully puts an enemy in the break state, it activates the limited break effect. When this effect activates, it resets the cooldown of all the skills, decreases break effectiveness by a certain percent, increases damage dealt by a certain percent, increases missile damage by a certain percent, and increases critical hit damage by a certain percent. This is ridiculous. So pretty much what this is that when you enter the stage, you're a break goddess, right? Because you're going to be just kind of, you know, your main objective at that given moment is to break as quick as possible, so that way you can then get in, and once the enemy's in that break state, you lose being the biggest breaker badass in the game to where you're then like, right, I don't need to break anymore, I gotta deal damage. And so that is what happens right now. You pretty much change from being a breaker to then being a DPS. This is ridiculous, and this is the first dupe. This caught me off guard. I was like, wait, hold on a minute. So we start the stage of being a breaker, and a good one at that, and then once we're done breaking, the game's like, okay, we don't need to break anymore, it's time for damage. That is ridiculous. So that first skill, that first dupe is insane to me, so I love that. And again, for the Workshop Brilliant Light, it's going to be amazing. Dupe 2, the number of missiles fired by Ice Shard Magnum or Frozen Drift skills increase, so that's kind of making you chase more for the core or the support skill, whichever one. So it covers on both bases, that is, for Hunters and Sunjungu. A3, when the user enters the stage, it activates the Black T, increases defense and max HP by a certain percent, restores a certain percent of their MP over time. Oh yeah, and it's on infinite too. That A3 is crazy. I wasn't expecting that duration to be infinite for that. So, and the fact that we're getting defense and max HP increase, a lot of people are thinking, does that have any form of correlation for the anniversary character? So just bear that in mind. Which kind of screws over Alicia, by the way. I'm just putting that out there. Yeah, in terms of this character, yeah, because we already knew ahead of time that this was more so for the anniversary support. So Alicia isn't exactly getting that support all there, but we are getting that water element damage increase at the very least. It's more better than the current breaker, so just bear that in mind. A4, water team members get a water damage increase by every water team member you have in the active formation. Seen that before, so that's per usual. And then A5 is the missile critical hit rate and critical hit damage increases by 7%. The Sub-Zero and limited break effect are enhanced, so gotta see on what the percentage play will be in terms of doing more water damage. And then yeah, that damage increase for Seorin, have to take that into consideration. So definitely a sub DPS breaker in the work, but in terms of where the water element is at right now, definitely, from my perspective, it's looking to be potentially more so for whatever they've got cooking up during the anniversary. Not so much for Alicia, unfortunately, but at the end of the day, if you look at the current state with the water breaker, this is pretty much the best. Then her gun pretty much gives a HP increase because she scales off it as per usual, and then once again giving more damage to the missiles. So to put it plainly, this is definitely a worthy character to pull. Honestly, it's more so with where the water breakage is at right now, in terms of if you look at the other elements, of course, and if you look at the current, I mean, I've spoken about it before, but with where water break is at right now, this is definitely an elevation, something that we truly do need. The water breakage is heavily outdated. It really is. So this is, for the most part, going to be a most definitely a unit to look into, to consider pulling. Again, it's also going to be a huge upgrade and a support for whatever that is cooking during for the first year anniversary, aka the alternative universe Cheyenne, of course. So that will be interesting to see on how she's going to be working out, of course. But that A3 is looking like a pretty nice sweet spot. I mean, at the bare minimum, get that A1. Get that A1. That is insane. That is just crazy. But yeah. And then it kind of begs the question, like, oh, well, if I'm going for A3, I might as well get A4, because then obviously your whole water team. But I mean, as long as you get that first dupe in, you're cooking. And then if you can squeeze up to A3, that way you get the boost for the whole gang, then solid at that point. And then the additional is going to be just, yeah, I mean, well, then again, if you do need more for so the overall team getting that water damage increase, then A4 will be at. And then if you just want to cater more for the sub DPS, then it will be A5. So yeah, a little bit of a hard investment for Seorin, of course, but I mean, at the bare minimum, make sure you get the A1. That I think that's going to be it. Also, I'm just going to throw this in here. So we got an alternative costume. Mother of God. What? Okay. Developers, I thought we had this discussion. What's going on with this game, bro? It look, they need to stop with this waifu. Come on, like, are you kidding me?